Hey guys, Burns Vaughan here. In this video, I'm just going to answer a common question when it comes to sending emails, cold emails for marketing, as well as work emails and direct messages in a work context between you and clients. If you're at work and you have a boss and you have co-workers and things like that. So most of it is based around a bunch of research I've been doing into cold emails, as well as a recent book I read and a TED talk by a person named Christine Porath, who a lot of her, I guess, career and things, she's been focusing on the effects of communication, things like that, on business in particular, and things like that. So, how interactions affect, say, the productivity of a business, the work culture of a business, and the well-being of people overall. So before just getting into in general, say you send out a cold email that's like, hey, I saw you do this, this, and this. What I do seems like a really good fit for that. Are you interested in learning more? And let's say after a week, a couple days, 4 days, you don't get any response. Generally, the optimum response is to keep it quite. The main thing you want to avoid is showing some sort of negative emotion, such as, something like, did you see my email, or why haven't you responded yet? Something like that. You want to sort of treat it like it's no big deal. I know, like all people have emotions, but you just want to keep calm, and just say something, like relate to their situation, be respectful of their time. Something like, um, "Hey, I know. I'm guessing you're probably in the middle of projects, or uh, I'm guessing you get a lot of emails like this. But I do really think something like I could help. I could really help you. Blah blah blah. Are you interested in having something? Something you kind of want to reword what you originally said. Um, so I do have some examples further below, but that's the general gist of it. And the examples I've got below are based on about 100,000 cold emails that have been sent, and sort of based on the data, what the optimum responses are for that. So I will just say here that, if you are interested in me running your cold emails for you, specifically what I do is I will help your business sign 3 to 5 of your ideal clients in 60 days with my AI mail client getting system, or you don't pay. Definitely book a call on my calendar. So you can select a time zone that works for you. Let's say Eastern. Then just pick a time and day. So I don't keep my calendar open on weekends, just because I prefer to have a little bit of time away from work to refresh my mind. But everyone's different in that regard. Um, and then, yep, just choose a time that works for you, and a day, and book it in. And that'll be like a 15-minute chat. So at the time, it'll add to my Google Calendar. I'll open up a Google Meet with you, and we can just have a chat about what that would look like and things. There's also a whole video I put together that explains my whole process and system at a high level. And normally I aim to get you a 4x return on what you spend. So say you spend 1,000, I aim to get you 4,000. So that's how I do the pricing and things. And also you only pay if a client signs on with you, other than a very small setup fee, which covers the actual cost of running that campaign. But I don't make any money with that. Awesome. So back into the topic at hand. I would just say, usually people will get will respond within about 48 hours. If your cold email is particularly compelling, it's normal to see people respond a lot sooner, so it's something that they're really interested in. So I put some examples of this article, which I will add to the blog on my website, which is coming soon. I'm adding that today. So something like, hey, taking a guess, your inbox is maybe over flooded, or you're working flat out at the moment. That's maybe some New Zealand slang, working maybe like non-stop, something like that, non-stop at the moment. Just reaching out to see if you were still looking for something along those lines. This isn't perfect, but just to give you a good idea. So there's no one size fits all, but you definitely want to avoid being aggressive or making accusations like, hey, did you even see my email? Because, or hey, I haven't heard back from you. What you want to do is you want to craft something in your own words, and then also if you're sending out a lot, then that'll give you room to test it out and find something that's really optimum. But provided you kind of follow those guidelines, not being aggressive or making accusations, your response rate will be good enough. Like it'll be decent, and it will be good. Exactly what is good and what is decent for response rates is a little bit outside of the scope of this, but I will just get into a little bit of that below as well. And also, if you are really interested in that, in the nitty gritty, then book a call on my calendar on my personal website, which I'll put a link in the description. So just to reiterate those points, so the follow-up email, you want it to be polite. The reason is that being pushy or aggressive does work, but it creates a bunch of resentment. It also has been shown in studies to increase the number of mistakes a person makes, as it shows a lack of caring and respect on behalf of the other person. So if you are sending emails like that, it does work, and people do get a bit pissed off and they're just like, and they just like respond. But they kind of like think about it, and it really messes with people's heads and really takes away a lot of focus and attention from their work. And it's basically unfair because you'll notice that everyone's kind of different and they're at different levels of understanding about life. Maybe they had a bad night's sleep, or something really pissed someone, cut them off in traffic or whatever, and they're really agitated that day, and they can kind of do that more than they would actually want to. It's a little bit outside of their control, but you do want to avoid that. It just makes people really not like you and not want to get back to you. And even if they do work with you, they won't enjoy it, and they'll be much more incentivized to leave completely and things like that, which probably all of us have experienced, who's ever been in the workforce at all, or run a business for any period of time. So I covered that a bit more in detail here. So you want to usually wait 2 to 4 days. The reason is, some people will respond straight away. Some people, once they see an email come in, they will add it to their to-do list, and then they'll eventually get to it. And if you're kind of like being aggressive and following up, Um, you know, it builds a lot of resentment. You get a lot of resentment. You get a lot more refunds, and people like there's a famous sales trainer named Jeremy Miner. Hats off to Jeremy Miner. I learned a lot about from him. So he has a lot of sales training, and one of his key things is avoiding sort of anything sort of pushy, because it does work in the short term, but overall the data that he's compiled, you won't necessarily say it like this. This is just a rephrasing that my take on what he has said is the amount of refunds that you'll get and the amount of lost customers you'll get, basically, and the amount of churn outweighs over the long term, over a long enough period of time, say 6 months to 1 year. It's actually better for business to not utilize any of those strategies. But yeah, a really long-term study on that would really be awesome. Might do a bit of research into that. So on to the next thing. So what percentage of cold emails get a response? So based on a large sample size of about 100,000 cold emails, a well-crafted cold email should get a reply rate of 10%, but this includes a positive or negative response. So say you send 100 emails, you'll get 10 responses. But of those 10 responses, only 25%, so what is it, 2.5? So you'd have to go up to 20 to get a whole number. So, but like 2.5 out of 10 will be positive. And that's quite typical of advertising and marketing. You know, around 2 to 3% of people that you contact overall will be positive, have a positive response, be interested in, and have the potential there to sign them up for your services. But it is also worth pointing out that this is based on the entire cold email sequence and not just your first cold email. So unfortunately, the unfortunate reality is it's a little bit more complicated than that. It's a bit outside the scope of this video to get into that, but if you are interested in the exact metrics, I'm happy to provide that. It's just book a call again on my calendar here, and I can go over that with you on a call, see if what I do works for you, and also potentially point you in the right direction if you're wanting to implement that for yourself in your own business. So how to politely and professionally respond to a work email. So not just cold emails, but work emails and DMs as well. So according to Christine Porath in her book, Mastering Civility, A Manifesto for the Workplace, she very much recommends that you should write clearly. So write as clearly as possible. Use proper grammar and punctuation, and respect the recipient's perspective. And she also mentions you shouldn't write to someone when you're angry or frustrated. It's a bit of a repeat, writing clearly. Do not use humor, and respect the, okay, so it's a bit of a repeat. Do not use humor. I don't know why I repeated that. Okay. And do not use humor. Sorry, just tidy this a little bit. Cool. And do not use humor. The reason is that in written word, it's very easy to misinterpret what someone's saying. If someone's a little bit agitated when they see your message, they can get the complete wrong idea and interpret it that you're being mean, or that you're, so if you're telling jokes and things, it's very easy for that to not come across an email, and the person kind of has to be like, ah, ha, 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 like, it just builds a lot of resentment and animosity, and they kind of feel like they need to get back at you. Which is the opposite of basically what you want, because you're collaborating with them on a shared goal. And so, yeah, you want them on your side as much as possible. They want you on their side as much as possible. Awesome. Well, that pretty much sums up everything about how to ask for a response to a cold email politely and professionally. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Anything more detailed, book a call with me. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for watching. And I commend you very much for taking an interest in this topic because it's a huge lever for success in terms of business and things like that. Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.